This podcast is for professional voice teachers to answer the question, how do I grow my teaching business and even break out of that one-on-one lesson model so that I can reach and teach who I want whenever I want. I'm your host, Allie Tyler, voice teacher of over a decade and marketing and business coach for fellow voice teachers. Welcome to the Voicepreneur podcast. Hey, voice teacher. Welcome back to another episode of the Voicepreneur podcast, and welcome to part dose of the Build Your Studio series. I'm so excited about today's topic. I'm generally excited about all the topics, but I really love this topic in particular because my hope is that you are going to listen to this episode and feel a sigh of relief. I want you to feel relief. I want you to feel excitement. I want you to feel energized by what we're going to be talking about because I'm about to break down the number one way that every business makes money. Like every business across the board. I learned this stat and I shared it at the very end of last week's episode. And if you haven't checked out last week's episode, go and check it out. Not right now after you listen to this one, but go and check it out after you go and listen to this one. But I talked about at the very end of this episode, a stat that blew my mind. And the stat was this: no matter what your business is across the board, on average, a business makes 70% of its revenue from one thing: loyal, repeated customers. That's it. That is the magic of running a business. And I really want you to think about this for a second. 70% of all businesses' revenue comes from their same people, the people that have already been coming to them and buying from them. This, to me, as a voice teacher, was freaking mind-blowing. I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is about really nurturing and loving the crap out of my students and not necessarily focusing all of my effort on marketing and getting new students. And that is hopefully the sigh of relief that you feel, because I don't know about you, but marketing and trying to get all these new students all the freaking time, that can feel exhausting, right? Like, I don't want to be marketing all the time, and I'm sure you don't want to be marketing all the time. And this is so relieving to know, oh, actually, I don't really need to be marketing all the time. What I really should be focusing my energy on, more so than not, is nurturing my current students. So that is what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. We're talking about the power of loyal customers and clients. Retention is the name of the game, my friend. This is so important. And when you really start remembering this and embodying this as a business owner, it's going to change how you show up as a voice teacher. And like I said, I really want you to feel excited and energized by this episode because this is where all possibilities happen. Because when we really strip down to this, we think about retention, right? We think about loyal customers, loyal clients, and you can think about this in your own life, right? We have our own businesses and our own companies that we are constantly buying from because we love them. There's a reason why we love them. And as a consumer, it's very fun to actually be mindful of what that reason is. You know, you can do this right now in your own life. Think about a particular business or a company that you are buying from repeatedly and really ask yourself what it is about this company that makes you love them. There are a lot of different things that this could be. It could be affordability. It could be convenience. It could be a vibe, just like an overall vibe, right? Like when I walk into Anthropologie, that is such a vibe. It is such a vibe being in there. And I really enjoy that when I am shopping. So pinpoint what that thing is, because that is the type of thing that you want to be thinking about and leveraging as a business owner and as a voice teacher. Oh, especially as a voice teacher, actually, because you are making an impression on people, right? You are making people, well, this is going to sound kind of weird. You're making people feel a certain way. And it's not like necessarily you're making them feel a certain way, but People are naturally going to feel a certain way when they take voice lessons, right? Music changes our feelings. Singing changes our feelings. It's all part of the experience. And you are a facilitator and a teacher and a guide for that person. So making an impression on them, helping them feel a certain way, it's what's going to lead them to tell other people about you, right? Word of mouth referrals, super powerful. It's also going to have them coming back and maybe buying other things from you if they love you that much. So when you are thinking about this, I really want you to think about all of the past students that you've ever taught, all of the potential students, the people who maybe showed up to an intro lesson but didn't end up signing up, or maybe wanted to schedule an intro lesson but it just didn't make it happen, but they have expressed interest in learning from you. They have expressed interest in paying you for that service. Anybody who is like that, your wait list, anybody, think about all those people. These people are so powerful. These people are so freaking powerful. So, number one, I sure hope that you have some way of organizing these people in your own personal life. I know for me, I went many years without organizing anybody's emails or having a spreadsheet or having an email list or anything like that. It was super different when I was starting to make tags for email marketing and be able to label those tags, past clients, potential clients, right? Like, so having some sort of system where you are able to stay organized, because again, these people are so powerful. We really want to be thinking about, okay, how can I make their experience better, right? What do I want them to experience? What do I want them to say about me? We've talked about this in terms of branding on past episodes, and this is really an appropriate time to be thinking about that again, because what I really want you to think about is the fact that you in the studio, you as a voice teacher, doing your thing, teaching voice as you do, is your brand. You are your brand, right? So what kind of teacher are you? Why do your students keep coming back for you? How do you make your students feel? This is all part of your brand. Maybe it's all part of the feeling aspect, because people buy from feelings, not thoughts. So important to know that. So what I really like to do when I'm thinking about retention and loyalty and brand and feelings and creating this sort of vibe and experience for my students that has them coming back for more and wanting to pay for other things, I get really inspired by looking at other service-based businesses. So think about this in your own life. What are service-based businesses that have loyal customers? Maybe it's a masseuse that you go to, massage could be one. Maybe it's acupuncture or chiropractor, or maybe it's a personal trainer that you go to, a fitness trainer, or maybe you're doing something more spiritual and you do this regularly, like Reiki healing, or maybe you see a therapist regularly. Maybe you go to a photographer regularly, right? So there's tons of people that we are going to regularly or semi-regularly, people that we are going back to, right? Repeatedly. And I want you to really think about, when you are interacting with these businesses, what are the things that they are doing that are making you come back for more? We kind of talked about that already, where we tend to go to the same companies over and over when we are buying things. But now we're going to take it a step further. And I want you to really think about it as a service-based business. There's product-based businesses, and then there are service-based businesses. And service-based businesses is exactly what you think it is, right? It is a service that somebody is providing for you. It is typically not just going to be that service that person performs that makes you want to come back for more. There's usually something else, right? I can think of, for me, the times that I have gone into, actually, the one that's coming to mind right now, funny enough, is a float tank. I don't know if you've ever tried this before, but a float tank, this is what we call them here in America. I don't know if they're called other things in different countries, but it's essentially this sort of coffin-shaped tub of water, of salt water, and it is the temperature of your own body, so that when you get into the water and you lay in it, you are floating and you actually cannot feel the difference between being in the water and the outside like air temperature. And so what it does is it turns off all of your senses. It's also known as a sensory deprivation tank. I freaking love these things. It's one of my very favorite modalities of fully resetting and relaxing. You lay in there for about an hour. I know that sounds crazy, and it's fully pitch black and you really can't see anything. And I mean, you can have lights if you want to, but I digress. So the reason I bring this up is because I love float tanks. I am a loyal customer. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do it again. But what I really love about this particular float tank center that I go to, again, this is kind of a service, right, that they're offering, is that they offer things like tea beforehand. They offer lotion and essential oils. They give you, electrolytes afterwards. And there's just this entire experience that you have when you walk into that center. And that is why I keep coming back for more. It's not just the float tank, it's the entire experience from start to finish. The same is true for my photographer. The same is true for my Reiki healer. The same is true for my acupuncturist. All of the people that I tend to come back to repeatedly and regularly have a freaking system down that is so beautiful and fun and vibrant and just really creative. They're all in alignment with their own particular skills and strengths. So get inspired. Look at all the different businesses that you are interacting with, particularly those that are service-based, and really tune into the details that go into the process, the experience, right? Maybe it's the process of signing up in the first place, or maybe it's the experience of that one time, 90 minutes that you're there, kind of like my float tank. Or maybe it's the experience like with my photographer, where when I first found her on Instagram, from start to finish, like every single thing from her Instagram page to the link in her bio, to the sign up form, to the page where it took me to these different blog articles that helped me decide, which props to use and what time of day and what outfits. Like, it was so above and beyond that entire process before I even paid her that I was like, this is an easy sell. This is an easy sell. Those details, the things that she put into that entire process to get me to pay, that stood out, right? That is what keeps people coming back for more. So this is really a lot of things, and it's truthfully super hard to talk about in one podcast episode, because I could talk all day about this stuff, the details and the little things that you can do to help people feel a certain way about your business. But here's the thing, you are a creative business owner. And what I love most about the job that I have is putting things out there like this, getting your wheels turning and hearing what comes up for you, the ideas that you have, the things that you're going to sprinkle inside of your private studio to help it stand out, the things that you are going to do to help students want to keep coming back for more. This is so much fun to just see the types of things that you are coming up with and for you to bring them back to our community so that we can all inspire each other. Now, of course, we're talking about the entire system, right? So this is the details like your onboarding process. This includes things like recitals and maybe even the exercises and the warm-ups that you're doing inside of your lessons. This has to do with your payment and your scheduling structure. OMG, that's a huge, huge part of retention and keeping loyal clients, right? Is your actual scheduling and payment structure. And then, of course, that also has to do with your policies. These are all huge things that play a part in the big system that is your business. So the question to ask yourself is, how do I want my ideal student to feel from start to finish? Every single detail when they work with me. And I'm talking every detail, right? Like it could be when they're signing up, and it could be all the way up until they complete voice lessons. How do you want them to feel? What are the things that you are going to do that help them feel that way? This is what makes you stand out. This is your competitive advantage. And this is why people want to take lessons from you and not from somebody else. So I highly encourage you to take a look at your studio business and really assess how it is run. Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions that I really want you to sit on. And if you want to save this episode and write these questions down, I highly encourage you to do that as well. But these are things that are really important and are going to help you assess the healthiness of your business and your system to ensure that you are making as much as possible from what you already have. Okay. Like I said in the beginning, we're not talking about going out and marketing and getting new clients. This is about refining your business to ensure that you keep clients happy and paying. That is so, so important. So here are the questions to ask yourself. What is a brand new person, maybe someone via word of mouth, or maybe someone who finds you online, a brand new person who is interacting with you and your content and your website for the very first time experience? What do they experience as they are interacting with you and your presence online for the first time? Another question to ask yourself is, what does someone do in order to sign up for lessons? Is it easy for them? Is it easy for somebody to just immediately sign up for lessons? And how does your website represent that? Is it converting? Does your website represent your teaching style? Are you proud of it? Is it a vibe that you want to show off? What is the vibe that you want to give off? Do your students say that about you when they sign up? That's a really good clue that you are on the right track if your students are saying to you, oh my gosh, you made me feel blah, or your website was totally speaking to me with blah, right? If they ever say that type of stuff, that's great. That is so great. That means that you are giving off a particular vibe, and that's what we want. We want to be vibey. I'm dead serious. We need to be vibey. Now, look, there are so many details that go into making a teaching business stand out, right? And once you have it all dialed in, it is so freaking fun. It is so freaking fun. I can't even tell you. You start attracting these amazing new students that you're excited to teach every single lesson, and they pay you on time. They pay you on time every time, no matter what your rates are. And then you know exactly how much money you're making every single month. And you even have a schedule that allows for flexibility. I know that sounds crazy, but you can do that. You can literally make just as much money teaching bi-weekly lessons as you can weekly lessons. So there you go. You just gave yourself 2 weeks off every month. And you don't need to do any back and forth emails or texts with parents about scheduling. Oh my gosh. Heck no. Everything is easy and automated and systemized and consistent and flowing and growing, because now you basically don't have any admin work. So you can focus all of that time on more growth and scalability. Don't worry, my friend, we're going to get there. But this is really, really exciting. And I hope that you're getting excited about this, because it is going to change everything for you in your business and your life. And if you love the idea of having a systemized, flowing business with happy repeat students that keep things moving, you are going to love what I'm about to tell you. Well, if you tuned into last week's episode, then it is not a surprise what I'm about to tell you, because you heard that the brand new program is officially open for you. It is called Amplify. It is a course on how to get new students and leverage them to grow and scale your studio. You definitely want to come and join us. It is going to be freaking amazing. And in the second class of that program, there are 4 classes. In the second class of this program, we're going to be going deep into all of the components that make up a systemized, flowing business. Everything that we talked about in today's episode. This is going to ensure that you have sustainable income and happy paying voice students. This is so important, and everybody wants this in their business. So you definitely want to come and join us inside of the class. You're also going to learn things like my absolute favorite way to offer scheduling and payment options to voice students, one that gave me personally 3 weeks of vacation every 3 months, and it did not impact my income at all. So you definitely want to learn that one. And trust me, I have done so many different types of scheduling and payment options over the last 13 years that I've been teaching. Oh my gosh, I've tried everything, every which way possible. And this is my absolute favorite way. I cannot wait to show it to you. It's so awesome. You're also going to learn retention strategies for maintaining a healthy student roster and how to integrate email marketing into your private studio. So you know how I talked about tags earlier? Don't you worry, my friend. I'm going to be talking all about how to utilize email marketing and how to get started in your private studio. And that's just one class. There is so much more. So click the link inside of the show notes to come and join us inside of Amplify. And if you did not hear the news, you want to listen up right now. This is so important. Listen, because this is like freaking unbelievable. If you join the Voicepreneur program, you get this course for free, for freaking free. Like, OMG, why would you not do that? I mean, I totally understand if you don't want to do that. You don't have to do that. You can come and pay the full price for the course, and that's cool too. But either way, click on the link inside of the show notes, and we cannot wait to welcome you inside of our community. It's going to be such an amazing experience. And I almost forgot. If you are listening to this episode post-March and you want to join, definitely still click on those show notes because we are going to be reselling the replays so that everybody has access to this at any time. All right, my beautiful friend, if you enjoyed this episode, stay tuned because next week in part 3 of this series, we're going to be diving in to how to actually leverage that competitive advantage that we talked about and turn it into a brand. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. There's so many things to be excited about, and I hope that this is getting you pumped to build your private studio this year. This is your year. I can't wait to support you, and I hope that you will come join us inside of Amplify. And as always, come DM me on Instagram at The Voicepreneur if you want to connect over there. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next episode.